Hi everyone, Chris again. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the images transition in with an interesting transition in the cells, and how to make a nice loading display for the cells where by default they will be grey with a loading spinner, and once the image loads, then the spinner will go away and it will transition in nicely. As you can see currently, what I've got here is I've got the animation that I want to show you how to implement. I'll show you that now. So in our special collection view cell called wallpaper cell, we need to change what happens when the image loads. So SD web image has a version of the method with a completion block. And in the completion block, we're going to do our animation. So the first thing we'll want to do is make the image fade in. So we'll make the image view 0 and do a UI view animate to bring the alpha up to 1. So the duration will be half a second, the delay will be 0. Now we're going to use the iOS 7 spring animations. This will become really obvious, the effect that it gives us once we start with the rotation and the zoom. So 0.5 is a good starting spring value. You can optimize from there if you want, but I usually just stick with 0.5. The initial velocity will start with 0. No options. We'll have an animation block, and we won't need a completion handler. And now our animation for now, we'll just set the alpha to 1. Alright, we'll run that and see what it looks like. As you can see, they rather quickly fade in. So we'll increase the duration. And we'll also do the rotation. So before the animation block, we'll set the transform to be a rotated scale transition. We'll start with the rotate, and we'll put the transform that we will be rotating is the initial scale one. So find transform make scale. So the image will initially start at half scale, and the angle will be a random angle. DRAND48 returns a random number from 0 to 1, so we'll minus 0.5 from that so that the value can be minus 0.5 to 0.5. Now that angle is in radians, so 0.5 radians is a reasonable amount. And in the animation block, we'll set the transform to the identity. Let's see how that looks. As you can see, they rotate and scale in with a slight bounce. It's quite elegant. There you go. Now, one thing that we'll notice is if we scroll, they bounce, and if we scroll up, they have to bounce again. Now, we don't want the ones that aren't cached to have to bounce in. We only want the ones that load to have to bounce in. So let's do that. We can check the cache type for this. So when it is none, that means it was loaded from the web. So only if it's loaded from the web do we bother with the animations. So let's see how that looks. Okay, as you can see, these aren't cached, they're loading from the web, so they bounce in. And new ones as they get loaded bounce in. If we scroll back, these should be cached, so they won't need to load. And as you can see, they loads smartly with no need for a transition. Great, thanks for watching.